Both lads walk to the centre as if they're about to fight already.
Ladies and gentlemen, this first bout on your main card takes place over 3 rounds in the EFC Super Lightweight Division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist who represents Houlihan Martial Arts. He brings into this cage a record of 3 wins and 7 defeats. Presenting Youcef Oukacine!
The lads are ready to go. Talking to each other.
Standing across the cage, his
Moving
opponent.
towards each other.
Fighting out of the red corner. This man is a mixed martial artist representing MMA Cork with a record of 5 wins and 6 defeats. Give it up for Barry the Jawbreaker Kennedy! Your referee
The
when the
two
action
lads
begins
are
is Mr.
raring to
Gareth
go.
Lyons.
If that is anything to go by, this fight is going to be an absolute war from the start. This is
That is how we do it, Paul.
Paul, you had to do a bit of security work there.
And that's how you throw a bit of spice into a sauce, boys. This is a fight that jumped off the page when it was made.
Absolute banger.
Nice short hook on the inside by Barry Kennedy.
2 very accomplished strikers. Youcef Oukacine actually had a boxing match this day last week, would you believe?
On UCC. And that was on 24 hours notice as well.
Yeah, just a gamer. Both guys are, as you heard by their records, 2 of the most experienced fighters on the card, and they have been on the scene, taking their licks and getting their wins. And Barry Kennedy got a massive pop, didn't he, when he came into the cage?
Yeah. And don't let Youcef's record fool you, or Barry's, because they take no easy fights.
And I will tell you firsthand, a lot of Youcef Oukacine's losses on his record were very contentious split decisions.
Yes.
He's been really unlucky in 2 or 3 of his fights. Barry's coming off what I think is probably his best ever performance, that split decision victory over Nikolai Shiapu. He looked fantastic a couple of months back.
Yeah, and Youcef also has a win over him.
He does, yeah, an absolutely brilliant performance that was too. And again, coincidentally, probably his best performance. I've been lucky enough to pretty much call almost every fight that these guys have been in.
And Youcef spent some time out in Bangor Muay Thai earlier on this year, getting in some serious rounds with some serious talent out there.
Kennedy's trying to just eliminate the threat of any type of Muay Thai action.
Yeah.
He's in deep, but he, again, just doesn't have those hands connected. And Oukacine, with the longer legs, sometimes it's easier to keep a very wide base. And you can weave an underhook or a whizzer in a little smoother sometimes with those longer limbs. But look, Kennedy connects now.
Yeah, Youcef defending well up against the cage.
So who's working harder in these exchanges, lads? Who's the one?
Guaranteed it's Barry Kennedy. Like, if you do these drills against the wall and you're the guy against the wall for the round, you're almost, not you're resting, but you're not working as hard as the guy who's pushing the pace and trying to get that takedown. And it's such a difference in the energy systems you use.
I imagine holding someone's leg up while they're doing basically a hamstring curl for a minute and a half.
Yeah, it's
Makes the arms
a
work.
brutal intensity. Look at Youcef Oukacine fishing for that guillotine, or even that ninja choke is possibly there with those long arms. Barry's a very seasoned grappler, a good jiu-jitsu purple belt, and he's a very well-rounded fighter.
Throwing some nice little knees to the thigh. But
Coach Paddy Houlihan in the corner of Youcef Oukacine, calling referee Gareth Lyons to separate them, because there's been very little has happened.
Yeah, very little. Let's start the round. Youcef landed a lovely leg kick, a lovely calf kick, should I say. Look, Youcef just shaking his head, nodding.
He landed a few shots in there, and you know what? Like, those kind of rounds, sometimes they can go to the guy who's at his back to the fence. But Kennedy didn't land a single shot, and are the judges going to lean towards anything that Youcef landed? You'd have to go back to the start of the round and maybe pick apart 1 or 2 of the exchanges there.
no, they don't seem to be as interested in talking to each other in between the first and second round as they were before the competition started.
Yeah, the fight's up and running now, so. But they had the intensity at the start of the fight was really good to see. I just love stuff like that. Fighters who just want to cut out the crap and just get going.
Yeah. 2 very talented corners here for both fighters. Getting advice, Youcef getting advice off Paddy Houlihan, and Barry getting advice off the Maguire brothers.
Not bad corners at all.
I seen Paddy telling Youcef to throw the knee up the middle. So let's see if he listens.
I've been very impressed with the boxing of Barry Kennedy, particularly in that last fight. The 2 fights he had with Nicola Shoup, who actually probably his 2 best boxing performances.
Yeah.
But against this longer range fighter, he looks to me like he doesn't want to play the striking game. He wants to get in and maybe take those long range weapons off Youcef Oukacine. Those ones right
Youcef
there.
is landing some very nice kicks in the opener of the second round. And again, the footwork is nice, circling off the fence.
Good right hand to the body there from Barry.
Yeah, this type of exchange is where the big cage can play a factor. It's easier for Oukacine to do this. You do that in a small cage, your back is bouncing off the fence after 2 or 3 steps.
Left that jab out a little too long, and Barry capitalised with a hook over the top.
It was nice timing, wasn't it?
Very nice.
Kennedy is no slouch in the boxing exchanges.
Nice calf kick. It's the second one he's landed.
They're different fighters, but one of the fighters I saw Barry Kennedy maybe struggle a little against was Jamie McCarty earlier this year, and Jamie McCarty is built very similarly to Youcef.
Yeah.
So he got kind of caught in the outside like this, looking at him in the headlights, like kind of struggling to get in the inside and land those strikes, those punches. But
yeah, and these leg kicks from Barry Kennedy will slow Youcef down.
Yes.
All that movement.
He needs to, because Youcef is doing a great job of moving laterally and just keeping him at this distance. And you don't want to eat too many of those big body kicks, am I right, Shane?
No, they definitely can take the wind out of your sails. So it does seem like Barry, as you said, Paul, is a bit caught in the headlights, doesn't really know what to do. He went back to the calf kick a few times, but Youcef has been switching his stance.
That's a nice right hand by Barry on the way in, and it closed the distance.
I'd like to see some knees here from Youcef.
There we go, that's good. Good listening, Youcef.
Yeah, Houlihan calling for the knees here from Youcef also.
He's doing a great job. He's reversed Kennedy very well. Kennedy did well to close the distance with that big shot, but the position kind of got away from him, digging for the underhook to bring his opponent up. Very good work, Kennedy.
Referee calling for more action. They separate. Nice fast head kick from Youcef, spinning kick.
He's starting to get confident now after landing a few shots. And that's
beautiful left counter.
He seems to be having good success when he's in southpaw, I think.
And isn't it such a valuable tool for a fighter to be able to just work evenly or almost equally well out of each stance?
Yeah, you see it a lot more now that fighters are starting to, practice and utilise that.
Yeah. We spoke about Collie Mann earlier. One thing I remember him doing with me non-stop in those one-on-one sessions we would just do entire rounds in your weaker stance, and like 2 or 3 rounds back to back, and then go back to playing with, he would just make sure that all of his fighters are comfortable off either side, and it adds twice as many questions into your opponent's plate, doesn't it?
Yeah, and if you're having success, let's say with the jab, and you switch your stance, all of a sudden the jab is coming from the opposite side, and now the jab that was there is a power shot from the backhand. So
yeah.
And you see with some fighters, when their lead leg gets chewed up,
yes,
and they have to switch stance,
having the option is so important.
They don't know how to fight out of the opposite stance.
Again, I spoke to Collie Mann about that after watching Lon Kavanagh destroy his opponent's leg with calf kicks, and the poor guy looked like he wanted to switch stances but physically just wasn't able to do it.
Yeah.
And then he was just a sitting duck for the rest of the fight. So that's a really good point, Adam. And it's like, as soon as that leg becomes incapacitated, if you can switch stances, you have a fighting chance if you're good off the other side too, but if you're not, you're in real trouble.
Going into the third round here now.
Competitive fight so far.
Seeing a nice bit of redness on the calf of Barry Kennedy now that we mention it. A good second round for Oukacine. That first one, we don't know how to split them, so we don't know what the scorecards are saying here.
Could be one apiece.
Could be, or we could have Oukacine up 2 rounds. But it's really difficult to know where the first round went. There was so little that actually happened.
Youcef using that long frame to set up that kick from southpaw.
Left
he has a lot of
kick
success with that
money.
left kick from southpaw. And if he wanted to, he could really use that to set up something else, right? He could fake the kick into a straight left. But Barry
That's what Kennedy needs.
Yeah.
Does the right thing, right? He needs to close that distance.
And Youcef with these body kicks, switch it up high late on the round. I can see it coming.
That's a good shout. Yeah, it's been probably the most impactful weapon of the whole fight so far.
Yeah.
But if Kennedy nicked that first round and he can manage to do some damage here with this and maybe get Oukacine down, all of
Youcef's
those body kicks could be for nothing, you know.
Yeah, Youcef's doing a great job defending this takedown up against the fence. Barry switched to the single.
Yeah, and Oukacine kind of gave it to him the way he temporarily switched his feet. He brought the legs closer together, made it easier for Kennedy to connect the hands, but still on his feet.
Yeah, Paddy's saying that Barry's not doing nothing to win the fight. I'd like to see the ref separated if it continues on for another 10 seconds or so.
Yeah, it's a good shout. We saw the first round play out a good bit like this, and I don't know if he'll get a chance to maybe ride out another round in this position. Kennedy needs something impactful here, and he knows it, I think. He's a bit of urgency.
He's not giving up on that single leg. The referee called him for more action now, so
Yeah, the ref looks indecisive here whether to separate or not.
He's allowing Kennedy a little time to work here, but Kennedy's lost the grip now, and Oukacine has turned it into a top position. That's calamitous for Barry Kennedy when this fight is so close going into the final minute.
Especially if Youcef postures up here and lands some strikes. You could easily give him the last 2 rounds.
Oh yeah, because Barry Kennedy hasn't really landed since he got a hold of Oukacine there, so yeah, this could be getting away from him, and Oukacine, for me, has looked really, really impressive, I have to say, against a difficult opponent in this fight.
Yeah, and having a boxing fight 7 days ago on 24 hours notice to come in here and beat an opponent like Barry Kennedy.
Do you know what? Having a boxing fight, you're not getting taken down, you're not getting grappled, you're not getting any knee injuries, and it's probably just sharpened them up mentally for competition this week. It's probably added even just that little 1% that might have been the difference, letting those shots fly at the right time tonight.
Yeah, 100%.
I think we're looking at a Youcef Oukacine win the last 2 rounds and maybe the first.
That would be a great win for Youcef.
He's going to silence the Cork crowd, isn't he?
Yeah, looks that way.
So look, tough fight for Barry Kennedy. Youcef Oukacine was able to execute a very effective game plan. Kept the distance, landed some really nice kicks, some really nice strikes on the outside. Barry had some success with the calf kicks, went away from it, decided he wanted to try and go for the takedown, but Youcef Oukacine's takedown defence was effective enough.
Yeah, no doubt in my mind Barry will come back stronger than this. Like I said at the start of the fight, both these lads never take an easy fight. And look, that's what you've got to do at amateur as well, to get all that experience before you turn pro, because there's no wiping your record clean at pro.
Youcef Oukacine is going over the takedown he got in the last minute with his coach Paddy Houlihan. I think that was a bit of fatigue from Barry Kennedy as well, you know, when you stay on that single leg for so long.
Yeah.
Without any change in the position, at some stage the grip is going to go, you forget where your feet are. And Youcef Oukacine capitalised.
Yeah. Yeah, not much noise inside
Ladies
there.
and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to your judges' scorecards for a decision. Judge number 1 scores this bout 29-28 Kennedy. Judge number 2 scores this bout 30-27 Oukacine. And judge number 3 scores this bout 30-27 for your winner by split decision, Youcef Oukacine!
Good decision. Bit of a
Paddy gave a little gesture there to tell the crowd calm down, because there's no noise coming out of here now.
I think that was a bit of a harsh scorecard for Youcef Oukacine. Again, like Paul mentioned earlier, if you're in a position, that's not enough to be winning a round, right? You have to be working in that position, or at least improving the position.
Yeah, split decision. I don't think it's the right scorecard, but look, the right fighter came out the winner at the end of the day.
So the next one is the one that you were talking about before the broadcast, which is Taylor Heffernan making the transition from kickboxing.
Yeah.
He holds two titles in kickboxing, and he's looking to make his MMA debut tonight.
And look, Taylor
Ladies and
looked...
gentlemen, I'm here with the winner, Youcef Oukacine. Youcef, when I was reading out those scorecards and it was a split decision, was there a moment of anxiety there?
I swear to God, I've never gotten on the good end of a split decision. Every time we go to the hometown fighter, but the judges done alright. 2 of them done alright. I don't know what the fuck the third one was watching, but happy with that, yeah.
I'd agree with that. I commentated on nearly all of your fights and I've seen you on the end of a couple that made me kind of raise an eyebrow. But the right guy won in the end. I thought your performance was very, very good. You managed the distance so well, particularly that second round, and the body kick was massive for you.
Yeah, that body kick, been drilling that all camp. Collie Mahan been drilling that kick with him fucking for last 6-7 weeks. Forget all that. Huge shout out to Paddy coming out to me and coming out all the way to Cork, 3-hour drive. And his ma's only after passing away earlier this week, so fair fucking play to him, and we all give him a round of applause, yeah? Honestly, one of the best, strongest men I know in my life, so fucking love you, Paddy.
Here, Youcef, I couldn't agree with you more. Congratulations on a great win. Ladies and gentlemen, Youcef Oukacine!
Fucking love you, Joe Rogan.